There are only two spiritual journeys, only two spiritual paths. Everything else is or can be traced to one of them. So the yogi traditions have explained it in a very, very clear manner, and it is that if you want to reach the highest expression of life, of the life that you are, if you want for your life energies to merge with the source of creation, only two things need to happen, or one of two things must happen. One of them is that you expand so much that you become all that there is, which means your energies start vibrating so much. The light, the candle that is inside your heart, gathers such intensity and such radiance that eventually it becomes the sun itself, which means everything becomes light, therefore you become enlightened. Or the other option is that you remove the blockages. You cleanse and empty everything that you think that you are. Because if we are part of the creation, that means that the source of creation must be somewhere within me. But because I have created a limited idea of who I am, I cannot touch it, I cannot feel it. I cannot go to that place inside of me where I come back to where it all started. So these are the two ends, which are one and the same, but they're the two ends. One is coming back to the deepest part within us, which is like going back into a place of emptiness, of total silence. And the other one is coming into a point of such exuberance and radiance that because of the intensity of the energy, I arrive to the same place where it all started and it all ends. So in simpler words, in your spiritual journey, everything that you do must either be a means or a process or sadhana, as they call it in yoga, to increase your energy, like raise your vibrations. I don't like that phrase because it has been misused, but increase your capacity and ability to run high intensity energy, but also a process of removing the blockages. So think about your ultimate realization, like the water that falls from the rain, that's when you're born, and then you're part of a river, which is the river of your life. One day you're gonna make it to the ocean where you're still the drop, but the ocean at the same time. You're part of the unity, the oneness from where it all started. The problem is that it takes lifetimes and lifetimes for the river to make it to the ocean for a lot of people. And this is why, because of two things: a lot of logs, a lot of dirt, a lot of trees, leaves, maybe garbage has fallen on the path of the river, which means that it is stuck. It gets stuck sometimes. And if you've ever walked past a stream of water that got stagnant, it smells really bad. It starts rotting. The same thing happens in our life when we are not moving towards that deeper part of who we are. When we feel stuck, when we feel stagnant, everything starts to rot. That's when you experience first your body and your mind, mental health, physical health, but also your context, your relationships. Things start to turn ugly when we are stuck in the same patterns, in the same trends. So the same thing happens with your energies. Sometimes there's a lot of blockages, and this can be trauma, it can be ideas, assumptions, it can be blind faith, it can be religion for a lot of people. Ideas of what they think God is are the fastest way to distance yourself from what it actually is. Because God cannot be made into an idea. It cannot be squeezed and caged into a few words. So part of your journey is clearing the debris, the leftovers of stuff, the garbage that is stagnating the flow of your energy. This is why the way that you eat is important, because you have to clear your system from the inside. The way that you breathe, the way that you move. Your body has to become robust so that all the nonsense is purged out. This is also why a big process of ayahuasca is purging. It's literally vomiting out the garbage that is blocking your energy from moving the way that nature intended it to. And then the other side of the equation is amping up the voltage, like really increasing your energies. And you will see that if a river, even though if it's stuck, if a sudden wave or a big volume of water starts flowing again, that may be enough to just like blast through those blockages. You may not need to remove stick by stick. If you blast enough energy into it, enough water is gonna destroy it. The river is gonna find its path once again. For example, processes like this is also ayahuasca, Kundalini yoga, and spiritual paths that are a bit more intense because they start releasing or awakening energies within you that are meant to amp things up. So the invitation from this video is that you pay attention, especially if you feel that things are a little bit stagnant in your spiritual journey, that you notice whether you've been obsessing over removing stick by stick, but maybe there's lifetimes of karma, of trauma, of things that you will have to process. And maybe you've been going to therapy for 10, 15 years, and I'm not saying it's bad. It's very useful, and a lot of people who benefit from it. But it's a long, arduous process. Maybe you need something that is a bit more potent, something that is going to increase the caudal, the amount of water that is flowing through that river. Or the opposite. Maybe you're used to a lot of Kundalini yoga and plant medicine experiences. And why, if I do so many things and intense workshops and I'm crying and screaming all the time, why is my life not changing? Well, that may mean that even though there's a high volume of water and energy flowing, there is something that is really keeping it stuck. So then your attention is better placed at removing some of these logs, some of that garbage. Ideally, we want to do both. We want to always cleanse our system, ourselves, so that energy can move in a more free way, while simultaneously doing things that nurture and support the continuous development of quality energy in our system. Eventually, if there's enough water and if enough of the garbage has been removed, it will be inevitable for that river to find its way back to the ocean. And in your spiritual journey, if you're doing your best to purify and cleanse your mind, your emotion, your body, all of your energies, and you take good care of all of this so that more energy can be built up, it will be inevitable for you to reach closer and closer states, closer and closer experiences to the source of creation. I know this may sound like a lot of words for many of you, but a few of you understand what I'm talking about. Life turns radically magical when we get out of our own way. And these two paths are the only way. Well, they are the classifications of the process of life. I hope that this was useful and that hopefully you understand a little bit better how the spiritual journey works, regardless of the path you have chosen. And also you understand a little bit more about why ayahuasca purges people before it takes them to a deeper place. Because both the logs, the garbage has to be removed, and the energy increased so that things can happen in a more effective and efficient and beautiful way. All right? Thank you. And like, subscribe, come to Colombia, drink medicine with us, join preparation, integration courses. Send me money on PayPal. Okay, take care.